Hey, you remember Moonwalker? Michael Jackson's Moonwalker? It was a movie from the 80s where basically it was really just a tribute to him. I mean, I don't know the specifics of it, but for the most part, you can tell that he had a hand in making it. I mean, outside of course, starring in it. The fact that so much of the movie is just, hey, let's play, Michael Jackson's greatest hits with, just a bunch of stuff to celebrate him. And for the most part, I kind of enjoy it. I mean, I can't really say I can recommend it to you if you're not a fan of his music, which most people are a fan of his music. So it's something that I could recommend. I mean, it's definitely not a great movie, but it's a fun movie to watch. I mean, like I said, I can't really recommend it to anyone who's not a fan of his music, uh, especially considering that the whole thing is really just a collection of vignettes. It's not really a plot driven movie until like the latter half of the movie, which okay, whatever. But for the most part, the movie's fine. I can't really complain too much about it. Like I said, it's just a collection of vignettes, so there's no real plot to the movie. I mean, the movie starts with essentially a music video, and then it goes into another music video, another music video, another music video, and then once you get to the plot, I guess you can say about the movie, it's really just a little short. Um, I mean, of course, it would be a long short, but still, even that, the plot heavy part of the movie is still a collection of music videos, but in that section, it's pretty much where the movie gets the most awkward, just because in the plot heavy section of the movie, it's Michael Jackson with a bunch of little kids outrunning like this evil like drug dealer or something like that. I forget exactly what Joe Pesci was supposed to be, but I think he mentioned something about how he wants to spread drugs to kids around the world or something like that. But it doesn't really matter. It's really just there just to set up music videos. I mean, it's like I said, just a little awkward now because it's Michael Jackson, with a bunch of little kids playing around with them. I mean, back then I'm sure it was cute, but knowing what we know now, kind of an awkward segment to watch. But on the whole, it's still charming. Like the best thing that I can say about this movie is that um, outside the music, the technical aspect of the movie is really interesting to watch. Like you get like a lot of stop motion effects and just a lot of stuff that you'd normally find in a music video being played off in this movie, and it's fun. I mean, if anything, if this were done today, this would be more or less chopped up to bits and just packaged as different tribute music videos that you'd find online. But since that wasn't too common back then, of course, since there was no real online kind of thing back then, um, at most you would probably see this as music videos on like MTV, but of course he put it in altogether as a movie in theaters, which again, it's fine. It's entertaining for what it is. I mean, I can't really say it's good. It's definitely something that I would still label as a bad movie. But in terms of just whether or not I enjoyed it, I enjoyed watching it. It was fun to watch. The music, like I said, was good, which was no surprise because it's Michael Jackson, and you know just the technical aspect of it is fun to witness. I mean, that latter half is starting where it starts to drag, but even then, every time you get back to a music video, it's like, okay, this is pretty cool. And even if you're not, there's still some cool effects in there, like Michael Jackson at one point. And if you're not aware of this movie, this is probably the one of the things that you've probably seen at some point is that Michael Jackson turns into a robot in this, and it's just kind of cool to look at, even if it's not like the most up to date effects now, but it's still something that's fun to watch. So yeah, on the whole, the movie's a fun time. I can't really complain about it. It's definitely something where I'd recommend it mainly to fans, but since most people are fans of his music, you'd probably get something out of it. I mean, at the end of the day, even if it's not a good movie, it's still a very well made one, and it's still very entertaining as that. I mean, I would rather watch this over the kind of musician movies that we get now, which is really just concert movies with a little bit of a documentary, like a little background on the life. Which I get the appeal on that. I mean, if you're, whenever you're a fan of, whatever musician is the subject, you'll enjoy it. But I don't know. I kind of prefer like this crazier, wackier thing that this thing had going for it over just the standard. Oh, so and so came from this background. They were poor, but now they're rich, and that dominates a lot of the stuff that you see now. Which, like I said, if that's your thing, that's fine. Personally, I love the crazier stuff, and this was definitely crazier in my taste. I'd I'd watch it again, even if it's not something that I personally think is good. It's entertaining, so I just couldn't complain. Oh well.